Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm the Addiction Recovery Coach and your host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. This particular show addresses a very sad situation. I have a friend whose brother overdosed, and it makes me really sad because he was a terrific person. He had a beautiful soul. Gerard Verderosa, a.k.a. Shorty, unfortunately is no longer with us. He faced the demons of addiction over and over, as many as us have in our lives. Fortunately, some of us have learned to live in recovery. Unfortunately, Gerard Verderosa is no longer with us because of that evil drugs that took his life. I want to, before I get into his sister giving us about a 7-minute little I guess you could call it like a blog or a little story about Gerard. I want to just talk about Narcan, the compass to healing, or is it a crutch in addiction? Claiming the lives of 47,000 Americans each and every year, fatal drug overdoses have skyrocketed in the past 3 decades throughout the U.S. and even the world. Opiates like prescription painkillers and heroin are claiming the lion's share of lives lost, killing more than 28,000 Americans per year, 78 people per day. So what is Narcan? Naxalone, more commonly known as the brand name Narcan, is an opiate antidote that reverses opiate overdoses. It is regularly carried by medical first responders and can be administered by ordinary citizens like you and I, with a little and no formal training. In nasal spray form, Narcan is available to the public with or without prescription. In its nasal spray, it carries right around the hip. Folks, an injectable form of Naxalone, otherwise known as Narcan, to the public with or without prescription can be used by first responders and people like you and me. An injectable form of Naxalone is first used by the responders as soon as they come on scene and they notice that somebody might be overdosing on oxycodone and deadly opiates like fentanyl or even heroin. When someone overdoses on these drugs, their breathing slows to dangerous levels and fall below a certain level and may even fall to unconscious and come very close to death. Injected or sprayed up the nose, Naxalone works rapidly to stop an overdose in its tracks by blocking the effects that opiates have on the brain receptors. It is a vicious cycle, my friends. Unlike the buprenorphine-containing cousin Sapsicon, another opiate antigenus or an antidote, Narcan has no abuse potential and cannot be used to get high. Conversely, receiving a dose of the life-saving drug plunges addicts into immediate, and I repeat, an immediate overwhelmed withdrawal symptoms. You vomit, you get diarrhea, you sweat profusely, your nose will even run. You sneeze and have runny eyes, and you ache so bad that you can't even walk. Narcan saves lives. I promise you that. It saves lives. The heartbreaking life and death and back again cycle is all too familiar to so many people, especially in the emergency medical services. First responders and firefighters who carry Narcan call it a lifesaver. But it's no cure for the heroin epidemic within this country or anywhere in the world. An increasing number of states are advocating the Narcan use is a key component in overdosing prevention, but not everyone thinks so. Creating a situation where an addict has a heroin needle in one hand and a shot of Narcan in the other produces a sense of normalcy and security around heroin use that serves only to perpetuate the cycle of addiction. Proponents for stricter Narcan laws also point to the inherently dangerous situations EMS staff find themselves when administering the drug to the potential overdose victim. Because Narcan causes acute withdrawal symptoms, a handful of treated patients awake aggressively and violently. Deputy Chief John Everett of the Portland's Main Fire District and Fire Department knows the viciousness firsthand. They usually are very angry when we bring them around. He noted, "One kid yelled at me, 'You think this will make me stop doing drugs?' he yelled at him. I said, no, the only thing I want to make sure is that you don't die here today. Narcan, the drug of second chances. Is it a second chance, or is it a crutch that so many addicted people use? On one hand, it can be a lifesaver. On the other hand, it can be a crutch. To fight overwhelmingly, we cannot just have addicted people think that Narcan is a crutch for them. We cannot save a dead person, that I will tell you. So Narcan's very important for us to utilize, because we can't save that person. Every life saved with Narcan is an opportunity for a person suffering from the disease of addiction to reclaim their life. And a second shot of life is exactly what Narcan gives those who want to change their lives altogether. Folks, how the Recovery Village can help, how you and I can help people that are suffering. Don't have a relative, don't have a person that is at the end of their rope. Depend on Narcan, knowing that they can go all the way, knowing that they'll be safe to you. Do not let them use Narcan as a crutch. The opiate epidemic continues hand in hand with the Narcan debate throughout the United States. For those seeking an escape through substance use, the answer to lasting peace isn't more pills. Of course not. It's an honest and diligent pursuit of sobriety. Sobriety that I have found, and so many millions of other people have found. Unfortunately, there are some people that have not found that, and that's a very sad thing. I want to play a certain clip that I had received from Gerard's sister, and let me get that out right now for you. I need to upload it here real quick. But keep in mind, Narcan, compass to healing or a crutch to addiction? You make that decision, folks. Let me get her. It's right over here. And where is it here? Folks, just remember, is it an addiction crutch or is it to help people? That is something that you need to ask yourself each and every day. I know I had it here before. I just need to find it again. I'm going to shut this off for 1 minute. I'll be right back.